Hello, and welcome back to Asian Pulse. I'm your host, Shivani Naiker, and we are broadcasting from the unceded traditional territories of the Kwantlen, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish nations. The month of September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. The best defense for the early detection is to get a PSA test done. We'll be right back from these words from our sponsors.
I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated. I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages.
For astrology service, life horoscope, and fortune telling, marriage problem, love problem, divorce problem, money problem, personal or business, all types of puja and havan. Call Pandit Lakshminath Guruji 1604-849-4872, serving Alberta and BC.
Arvind's Curry and Cocktail, Indian cuisine. They do catering for all occasions and they do free delivery. Please call 604-515-1070. Address is 420 6th Street, New Westminster. Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. For deliveries, call 604-515-1070 or arvindscurry.com.
Thank you for our sponsors. If you would like to highlight your business in your show, please email us at asianpulse@gmail.com. Our guest today is Paul Sidhu, an author of the book called Broken Turban. So let's hear him.
Hello and welcome to Asian Pulse. My guest today is Paul Sidhu, and he is the writer of this book called Broken Turban. This is the book. And this is the first publication, he told me. And we're going to be talking about why did he write the book? What's in the book? I haven't read the book, but I will be reading it from today or as soon as I get a copy. And this is one of the best sellers. It's flying off the shelves like it's no tomorrow. So we need to talk about what's in the book and why are people so glued to reading this book and what's inside. So thank you so much for coming all the way from Abbotsford, wherever. Is it Abbotsford?
Thank you for having me, by the way, Camilla.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
No, I have read something about you on the Facebook, on the social media.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I need to contact you and get you on board and talk about your book.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we start talking about a book, I want to know who you are. Who is Paul Sidhu? Those people that are watching you today haven't heard about you, haven't heard about the book. They want to know.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm a first-generation Sikh. My parents came from Punjab, just like a lot of people that migrate here in the early 70s and stuff. And I was born here. So what I've noticed over the years, over the decades, is just there's different situations, different like racism and different upbringings, and just different the way that we all migrated and became successful in this book. So Broken Turban is basically, that's what it is. It's a true life story about my cousin, what he went through. So I've always written all my life, and I just had a chance to just get out there and write it. I go, you know what? I really want to write this book and really show our culture and our differences and this multiculturalism. And I just wrote this beautiful book, and took several years to make. And I just made it, and it just came out, and it's beautiful. Yeah. So.
Excellent. That's a good way of putting it. Everything how it come about in the nutshell. So you have siblings here?
Yeah.
Because you are telling me you are a first-generation Canadian.
Yeah, so I got 2 brothers, and I've also got a son and daughter.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
and
family.
Yeah, and I've lived here. I've seen everything, and I've seen both sides of racism. So, and just like different stuff, like just being integrated into this multicultural society, and it's just sometimes when we gotta leave India, where India is, and we got to integrate. So this book is beautiful. Anybody can read this book, and it's just magnificent. Like, it's just for everybody. So
have you faced racism growing up in Abbotsford, going to school,
yeah,
finding employment and things like that, or
Yes.
day-to-day life?
very, very so. You know,
Okay.
I've got a lot of Caucasian friends, a lot of Chinese, and just like Black, like Aboriginal. Everybody is my friend, and just learning the ways of what happened to me, and then now racism is different than it was back then. So just to experience that and to write into a book so people can understand, you know, maybe it could change somebody. Like, it could change somebody that's being racism, or it could change, they could see what exactly is happening. Two perspectives to see the side of, you know, of what's going on in there. So anybody could really understand that, because it's a big topic, and it happens every day, unfortunately. People are racist, and so that it shows two sides of the story in there. So.
Well, racism to me, when I first moved to Canada in early 70s, there were very few of us, like
Yes,
brown people.
exactly,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what-
very few people. And I faced more racism that time, that what is this brown woman doing here? And if I see anybody in the street or the stores, Indian stores, I'll just make a point of going to say hello to them.
Yes.
But now, and I don't know about your experience, but now, I think look at Surrey. Just put Surrey. There is so many of us.
Yes.
It's us dominating the
Yes.
city.
Well, this is it. Like back then, like, that's why exactly this book is. My cousin, he got picked on, but he wasn't allowed to say anything. He kept it inside. So that's what experience in this book. Now you could express it. Like, oh, well, why are you saying this? But back then, nobody used to say anything. They used to keep it in. Racism happened, they kept quiet. And now we're lawyers, we're doctors, we're teachers. Back then, it was just like, oh, what is this brown guy doing here? Or you know, or everybody's equal in this book. Everybody's like, I cut blood here, red, you're red. It doesn't matter. I have a lot of Caucasian friends, a lot of Chinese. Like I said, like, everybody's the same. So the book is trying to just mold everybody together.
So, is it because of the racism you thought, I need to put my thoughts into something, and then I want other people, it's not just me going through this experience of racism. There are so many people like me, but those so many people that feel the same way like you may not have that strength, or maybe not with the pen and writing skills or whatever. So what exactly, and I want to know, what was the breaking point for you that I need to put it in there so that I want people to know my story, or I want people to know different cultures and have respect.
Honestly,
and we live in a very diverse society.
No, absolutely. And honestly, like I said, I've always been writing, and then I've always looked up to my cousin. My older cousin, looked at him, what he went through. And, you know, I had some time on my hands, and it just naturally just came to me. I just started writing, and I just couldn't stop.
Okay.
It was just something came over me. I could not explain it. So I don't know what it was, but it was just, I just wrote, and I wrote, and I wrote, and I put this beautiful book together, and it is flying off the shelves. People really understand it, and it's a really heartwarming story. It's got everything in there. It's got a little bit of education, a little bit of history, and it is absolutely amazing. Like this, and then that's what made me something just took over me. I just wrote it.
So, like I say, I haven't read the story or book, or else I would have known where to start. So, in this book, there is the stories of your grandparents, the first migration or the first settlers.
Yes, yeah.
From Punjab, that they came and settled, their experience of living in Canada.
Absolutely.
So, is it everything in the book and the second generation or third generation? Like your son is a third generation here.
Yeah, so yeah, it kind of taps on that a little bit. Like the third and the first generation, like the grandparents in India and stuff, how they came and stuff. But it's mainly about my cousin, like what he went through, like during the time, like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So, and then yeah, it touches up on what the grandparents and stuff went through and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it touches up on all that stuff. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I've never read an Indian book like that ever. I gotta write one like this. I gotta tell people this, because I've been on both sides. Like a lot of my Caucasian friends, they love me, and I've seen the racism out of them to others, and I was just like, the story has to get out so everybody understands, so everybody can just understand what Broken Turban is. Everybody. So.
And why the name Broken Turban?
Broken Turban is that name because our basically our religion and everything like that, um, it gets stomped on. People like treat it like it's nothing. And but it's broken turban. It's really a true. It's not really necessarily a turban, but it's the true identity of a person inside. Like we're all broken turban. Like because the thing is, it doesn't matter if you have a turban or not on. We're still equal. So broken turban. It was just a phrase used in that book. Like when you read it, it'll explain that, and it's very explains what it does. Like what broken turban really is in the book when you read it and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's very detailed, and you'll find out.
Did you ever wear a turban?
I did when I was a little younger, but my cousin did quite a bit, and he got picked on that, and that's in the book.
Okay, so I was gonna then ask you, then just because how he looked or how he dressed, putting both of you together, one with no turban and one your cousin had a turban, so there was more racism because he was wearing a traditional, he was a traditional Sikh. There was so much discrimination, right?
Yes.
And for you, who looks normal, and you have lots of white friends, brown friends, and Chinese friends, and everybody, that you were more acceptable to the larger...
Exactly. You know what? Just because my hair wasn't like that, I was more acceptable, and the teachers accepted me. See, he went through this because of the turban, and then that's not right.
So you and him at the same age?
No, he's older than me.
Okay.
He's several years older than me, and then I don't have an older brother, so I looked up to him. Like our cousins come over and they play outside like sports,
Right.
and I looked up to him, and it was just amazing because they'd always gossip because back then the Indians like. What they did is the families talked about each other all the time and stuff. So I heard stories about them. Yeah, exactly. And it was
They would be so nice to your face. The minute you turn around, they will have something to talk about. Oh, look at how he was dressed. Okay?
Yes.
Look at how am I dressed. Or you know what? Or my head wasn't covered. Or maybe whatever. And I know I'm...
Yes, yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They just... And people think, oh, why are you doing this? And, especially like, your aunts and relatives, they turn around and talk about you. Oh, this guy's doing this. And,
And then again, if you are a writer or an author, they don't give the importance to this.
Yes.
Because they will say, why don't you get a real job? And I said to them, what is the real job? If this is not a real job,
well, what
then
is
what is the real job? I mean, for our mentality, the real job is either you become an accountant, or you become a teacher, or a lawyer, or a doctor. Then only you are successful.
You know what? I don't want to give too much away in my book, but basically that's what they wanted him to become. They wanted him to become like a lawyer, doctor, and all this kind of stuff, putting pressure.
Yes.
And you know what? Everybody's meant to do something.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a carpenter, not everybody's a doctor. You're supposed to do what your passion is and just do it. And you know what? It's just what you love to do. So that's what it should be.
And I think like you are a dad. Too.
Yes.
You have your son sitting here.
Yeah.
And we will never pressure our children. Yes, academia is good. But at the same time, if he wants to play hockey or he wants to go in football or doing other things, there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely,
You know, as long as you enjoy whatever you do, that's what matters.
You see that's the thing about back then. There wasn't enough, like people didn't have the education or just like the way things were. They're just black and white. You do this and that's it. You go to school, you have to do this and become like. Nowadays it's totally different with the third generations. And then right now with the industry, the modern industry, with the tech industry, everything's on computers. And I used to berry pick it in my summers. I used to go on the berry pick and go 13 hours a day, 14 hours a day. That was our summer. So
yeah. And another thing I also find in with our generation, not our generation, our culture too, we always compare with others.
Oh, man.
My goodness. And they say, oh, look at the neighbor's son or that uncle's son having A's, straight A's. And he will go to university. You're going to have a good job. You'd be able to have lots of money and enjoy life be able to buy a house or drive a fancy car. Look at you. We are trying to provide you. They always comparison.
Yeah, that is such a bad habit. Like that is so bad. And I've seen it like with my even the second generation. Like he bought a house. I gotta buy a house. I gotta buy a car like his. He started a business. I'm doing a business. I'm like looking at these guys and wow, just the materialistic things. You know what? Honestly, you just need a place to sleep, a place to eat, and just be grateful that you're alive every day and health.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line. And this is what it taps on that as well. And you're absolutely right. Like, it just, people are just so envious of each other. Oh, this guy's got this car. I'm gonna get a car. You know, he did this wedding. I want to do that wedding.
Oh yeah, that's another day story.
Yeah,
The wedding
that's
and the expanse of the wedding. These
Yeah.
people, and some of times it doesn't even last for a year. You still have $100,000 bill to pay.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And you know, sometimes what also I find, they know each other for that long. They've been going out with them.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not like arranged marriage. And then right after they get married is something on signing the paper and you go your own way. Is there anything in the book about I'm part of our generation, and is there anything in here about gangs and how kids get recruited in gangs, drugs and all that? Or you didn't want to touch upon that?
No, that's, I guess, probably a different type of topic. This is more of a, like, it does show a little bit of, a little bit of bullying and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is more of a less just.
But there is something maybe that in future, maybe if you're doing, because you cannot deny that, right? And I cannot deny that. Every day there is a shooting, or every weekend there is a shooting.
Yes.
But there got to be something linked with this community. And I said, what is going on in here? And people say, oh, the crime has gone down. And I said, where are we living? Where has the crime come down? You know, and blame the police and blame the system and everyone else. But I think we as parents,
Exactly.
We forget that we have not been able to spend more time with the children
Exactly.
when they needed us, right?
You're 100% exact.
And when they are 18, 20 years old and they have friends, they don't need us. They need the friend.
Yes.
When they were vulnerable, waiting home for the parents to come home, sit down with them, eat with them, talk about how their day was, then we as parents weren't present there. And now we are crying over that my son, we provided everything, nice, $5 million home, car and everything, but we lost our child, right?
Absolutely, you are 100% true. And this book kind of explains that, the first, like, how the parents raise their kids. So that does talk, like, it does talk about that in the book. And you're 100% right. Like, absolutely, it starts from the parents.
Yeah.
They say, like, when you first hug a child when they're born, and you hold on to a child, they have the attachment. But if you don't have the attachment when they're younger, it just becomes, I think it's all the parents, like, everything. So I
think that kids, we all crave love.
Yes.
And acceptance. And when we as parents or grandparents not be able to do that, and I am not from Punjab, but I am also, you can see me, I'm South Asian. People bring their grandparents in here as child care providers, or so that me and you, the parents, can go and bring more money and more money.
Yes.
And they are not there to raise our children, because it's not living in Punjab anymore, living in Fiji anymore. These children are very different. So we as a parents' responsibility to spend time with them and give the best that we have and not chase the dollars, because dollars will always come. You will never have enough, because even if you have 5 homes, you want to buy a 6th one somewhere else.
It's never enough. And hey, if I wear a watch, it's the same time as next. I could buy a $2 watch or a $500 watch. Like, it's still like materialistic.
Still telling the time.
At the end of the day, materialistic things don't make you happy.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. I remember even my cousin, like, a little bit in that book like that, but going to, like, sports events, like in the school and stuff, and his parents would never be there.
Yeah.
He'd be the only guy with, like, there, and all the other Caucasian parents are there rooting on their kids and saying,
clapping,
clapping, and then the kids are running and playing and laughing, and then my cousin's sitting there, and he's looking in the stands, and there's nobody there for him. Like, that's breaks my heart. That's Broken Turban.
I hope everybody reads the book. I hope. Everybody, this is a everyday reading, and everybody grab a copy And even if you haven't done it, it's never too late.
Absolutely, like it's a true story. It's from the heart, and it's a beautiful book. Everybody should grab a copy of that.
So, last question: if you have to talk to the audience, what would you say about the book?
Well, I would say this book is amazing, and it hits home. Anybody could relate to it. Anybody that's grown up here, even like any new person coming from India, or even anybody, Caucasian person could pick it up and read it. It's got a lot of detailed stuff in there, and it's a beautiful book, and it's just amazing. Like you'll understand once you read it, once you get into it, and it's just a beautiful book. And you could get it at Indigo, Surrey, Langley, Abbotsford, Chilliwack, Victoria, and you could also
order online.
Amazon, Paul Stu, Broken Turban. It'll come right to your house. Yeah, no, this book is absolutely amazing, and it's easy to read. It's not too complicated. It's not too long. It's very, very, like, I didn't want to put in, like, it's very, very perfect. It's not like we're something.
Also, I'm looking at it very quickly. I'm browsing through. It's a plain language, which is so important.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, even if you are academia and all that, sometimes the language that we start using it doesn't make any sense to people. But I think plain and simple language is the best way to get to the people.
Honestly, in English, I was bad in English, actually. see, anybody can write a book, and I want to say is whoever wants to write a book, go for your dream, and you know what? Just go do it, and don't worry about what people say.
Yeah.
And that'd be amazing to have more of our type of people writing books and stuff like that. So that's what I want to do too. From this book, I hope I inspire somebody that could actually write another book like this. That'd be so beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it is just amazing. Like when you go into the stores and then people want your signature, it's just so good. Like I did a big book signing, people were lined up. It's just an amazing feeling. I've never had that kind of feeling. Like it just feels so good. Like my word is
that people are interested.
Yes.
Yeah, what interests me, the broken turban.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I thought,
beautiful name.
I need to read the book and I need to get hold of you. Anyways, so with that, this is the book. And it's 195 pages. It's not very, very long. You can read it in 2 days, 3 days, or even if you want to take the whole week. So I think it's a book it's a coffee table book. Everybody need to get one and buy it. And thank you so much for giving up your time, coming, talking to our viewers and our audience.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I hope this book changes people's ways and lives and really understands. And for good, for the community. You know, we should all be loving each other, living in joy, peace. That's what this book's about.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you so much, Camila.
Thank you, Paul. Good luck with your book. Before we move on into our community events, we have a special announcement to make. Our Asian Pulse team would like to wish a very happy birthday to Mara Raj, who is turning 3 on September 17th. Lots of love, hugs, and kisses are being sent from Mom and Dad, Pritika and Shelvin Raj, Nana and Nani, Aja and Aji, Dada and Dadi, Ren and Rita Raj, Kaka and Kaki, Reggie and Navina Raj, Fua, Caitlin Singh, Aji, Camilla Singh, and cousins Kyra, Kellen, Kina, Milan, Noel, and Ryan. And the rest of your big family, loving, and friends. Have a pen and paper ready because we have some special announcements that we'd like to share with you today. Canada/USA Ex-Casa reunion is taking place at Bollywood Banquet Hall in Surrey at October 1st at 5 p.m. For more information, call 604-537-5123. Tickets are $40 per person and all proceeds will be going towards the Khalsa College in Ba, Fiji Islands. 11th Annual Mustadi Begum Indian Classical Music Festival is taking place on September 24th at 6 p.m. at Massey Theatre in New Westminster. For tickets, please call Massey Theatre or visit their website at www.masseytheatre/11th Mustadi Begum Festival. Sahas Community Service Society provides a helpline for people who are in crisis and need to talk to someone. They offer critical support, information, and resources for individuals and their family. The number is 604-900-9221. Everything will be kept confidential. The Canadian Federation of Fiji Organization is hosting their second annual Community Awards Gala on Sunday, October 16th at Kanna Banquet Hall. For more information and tickets, contact Shannon Pramal at 778-709-2853 or email at info.cfofo@gmail.com. CIBC The Run for Cure is back on October 2nd. Join in person for a walk or run at Surrey Athletic Park, 14600 20th Avenue in Surrey. 1 out of 8 women will develop breast cancer in their life. Join them and donate money for a great cause. If you have any events that you would like to promote on our show or to promote your business, please email us at asianpulse@gmail.com. We have run out of time. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did bringing it to you. If you would like to support our show, please contact Camilla Singh at 604-537-5123 or send us an email at asianpulse@gmail.com. Before I go, I leave you with these thoughts. Forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. By Jonathan Holt. If you missed our show today, you can catch it again at Thursdays at 8:30 and Saturdays at 5:30 on Channel 4 and Channel 10 in Calgary. You can also watch our shows on YouTube on our channel by Asian Pulse TV and subscribing and liking our shows. Thank you for spending the part of the day with us. I'm your host, Shivani Naiker. Stay safe and stay healthy.